Alright, take two. I got a phone call in the middle of the last recording, so we're going to try this again. That's the first time one's been interrupted, so once again, Jenkins on camera, the liberal conservative behind the mic, coming at you today, the 30th, the day before Halloween, and we've got some kind of 90s punk going right now as the mood I'm in. So we're going to do election talk because elections a week away, midterm elections, and there's some important battles going on, especially here in the great state of Florida. And we'll be discussing, starting from the governor down into the constitutional amendments. We won't go into local elections because those don't irritate me because they're pretty easy decisions for the most part. So let's start with the governor elections. Ron DeSantis, pretty standard Republican candidate. Nothing too crazy about him. Was a Navy veteran. I like that. I am also a Navy veteran, so that is good stuff. Just means similar values: honor, courage, commitment. Very patriotic, very really loving the country and wanting to do what's best for the country. And you can definitely take that. To heart. And you know where his values are. So that's good. Putting the focus of environment in the front of his campaign, which is outstanding for a Republican candidate. I'm not talking, the big global warming debate and all that, and everybody calling everybody else, climate change deniers and all that shit. Fuck that conversation right now. I'm talking about actual things that we can affect in the short term. Florida's natural environment is part of our revenue source. It's part of the draw for people coming to Florida, not just our amusement parks. They come and they hike, they horseback ride, they go to the springs, they scuba dive. It's very important that Florida maintain a very nice natural environment so that people can come and enjoy it, and so local residents can enjoy it. I live right near, a bunch of springs in the state. You can drive an hour and hit spring in just about any direction you drive. And it's nice to be able to go kayaking and swimming and exploring these things. Oh, sorry about that, but I'm still fighting off a cold, so there might be some sniffles and nasaliness. So it's great that a Republican candidate's put the environment first. That's awesome, because if you can combine keeping the shit that I like to do nice and clean, combined with the economic plans that I like, I mean, we're about to hit a fucking home run. Like, if DeSantis jumps on board with legalizing marijuana, and some other, libertarian views I have, a social, I am socially liberal on a lot of things, jumps on board with these things, that'd be great. That'd be outstanding. We'd have the perfect candidate if that was the case. We'd never have to vote for anybody else. Just keep him in there and let's find somebody else like him, when it comes up again. His opponent, who I really hope doesn't win, I really hope Florida's not this fucking stupid, is Andrew Gillum. He's so terrible. He's not, it's a black male version of Hillary, I want to say, only worse. It's like Hillary Sanders. We combined the two, and that's what we got. And it's just horrible. He's corrupt. He takes gifts. He's been indicted. He was flying as the mayor of Tallahassee. He's taking fucking Broadway tickets from people and flying to the Caribbean and shit. Like, this guy's terrible. Wants to raise the minimum wage in Florida to $15 an hour. Florida is not a minimum wage $15 an hour state, okay? First thing, let's just get it out the bat and say that. Maybe we need to have a minimum wage talk, but $15 is not the amount you need to fucking start at. You need to back that shit the fuck down. Because the cost of living in Florida is a lot cheaper. Because our we haven't had as much inflation as the rest of the country. Just because of the way we live. And the way we vote. And the way we keep, our economy. So, we can make a lot of money off of taxes and off of tourists coming in for things and charge a high premium at, all these parks, theme parks and stuff like that, and charge tourists a lot of money because they're on vacation, and what's the difference? And we get to keep it, and we can keep our cost of living low. It's the best of both worlds. It really is. So, he just doesn't understand how economy works. He doesn't understand what it would do. And then the second point of that is minimum wage, not a fucking living wage, okay? If you're working 40 hours a week at minimum wage, you're probably not working enough. You need to get promotions. You need to be working probably 50, 60 hours a week, to tell you the truth. And if you can't support a family of 4 off of minimum wage, you're not fucking supposed to. You were supposed to make better fucking decisions with your life. Now, we do have social programs in place for helping out people that are down in their luck and life is kicked the fuck around. And I understand, charity is good. But forced charity in the form of taxes and too many overuse of government programs. Overuse, keep that in mind. I'm not having any. I'm not advocating no social programs whatsoever. Is a bad thing. So I shouldn't be penalized for your poor decisions. You should be penalized for your poor decisions because they were your poor decisions. So you're going to have to get better. You're going to have to struggle. And you're probably not going to have an easy life. The best you can probably hope for at this point is to make your kids' life easier by saving, working hard, providing them with a good education, doing what you can. So you need to take those 4 shitbags and turn them into something better than you. Please, for the rest of us. Thank you. So, we'll get off the governor debate because Gillum is shit. DeSantis is quite alright and has some pretty progressive views for a Republican. We'll put it at that. So, let's get on down to the Senate race. Former governor, current governor, Rick Scott versus career do-nothing politician Bill Nelson. This is Rick Scott's first office. And now he's going on to the Senate. And you know what he wants to do when he gets to the Senate, the U.S. Senate? He wants term limits. I'd almost vote for him just on that alone. For pushing term limits for Senate, I would vote for him almost on that alone. Yes, the Senate should have term limits. Fuck yes. Let's move these people through. Let's make it harder for them to get their roots set in, because power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, has never not been true. Throughout history, this has always been true. It's gonna happen eventually. You leave somebody in power long enough, and it will eventually corrupt. Maybe not completely. Maybe you might have the one in so many chance, but you can't count on that for every senator and every representative. So yes, need term limits. Rick Scott wants term limits. I'm willing to give him a shot on that. His other policies, like I said, Florida's doing good right now. So yes, I'd like to give him a shot at the Senate, because Bill Nelson is crap. I'm tired of Bill Nelson. All he does is hop on his fucking soapbox when there's a shooting, and not much else, to tell you the truth. So that's a pretty easy decision. It's always hard to unseat an incumbent, so Rick Scott definitely has a battle ahead of him. But being the current governor is a little bit of an advantage. I hope it evens that out because of the name recognition, and people will vote for him, and people will get out and vote against Bill Nelson. So with the amount of Republicans getting energized to actually make sure that they go and vote this cycle, and the shit that the Democrats have been pulling, it's very likely, which is good. I don't think we have any really huge House races that I'm too worried about here in Florida. We have some local elections for our state House and Senate. Those are pretty easy races too. There's not really any competition. We've been pretty Republican for quite a while, so most Democratic candidates are rather garbage in our area. So it'll be pretty no-nonsense election in that. Incumbents and Republicans will win very, very easily in where I live. So that'll take us down to the amendments. A Florida Constitution bag of what the fuck amendments. There are 12. apparently there should be 20-something because of the stuff that's bundled together. Like, it is against the constitutional revision, in our constitutional revisions can't have multiple things in them, have to be clear in their summary. Like, you can't hide things in constitutional revisions. The fuck is, how do you not fucking understand that? But nope, they're trying to hide things in constitutional revisions. So every constitutional revision is getting a no vote from me, except for maybe one. Number 4 wants to give non-serious felons their right to vote back. And I think offering a reward for someone once they've completed their payment to society, whether it had been time in prison, community service, or parole, that they are restored their rights to vote. As long as their crime wasn't violent, I'd say didn't involve a weapon, because with a weapon that's considered violent, you're going to or considering hurting someone to take their stuff, which is always fucked up. And of course, rape, murder, pedophiles, your standard array of just pieces of human shit that I'd be okay with giving the death penalty to, honestly, in most cases. Won't get the right to vote back, and that's fine. They shouldn't. They're not. Yeah, they're terrible. So, I'm probably in favor of that. I might vote yes on 4. I'm going to do more research on it and see if I can find any real reasons to vote against it. And one of the reasons, like, that they'll, if the reason you think is that they'll vote Democrat is a reason, it's not a valid reason. Like, if you think prisoners are going to vote Democrat, or former prisoners or former felons are going to vote Democrat just because they're given the chance to vote, they may. But do we want to be that way? I kind of want to be better. It's not right. I want to do what's right in this case. Not what's emotionally right, but what is logically, legally, constitutionally right. Humanly right. And I think that letting non-violent criminals, once they've served their time to society, be restored the right to vote is the right thing. So I think we'll move forward on that, and that'll be good. And then the other amendments are just terrible bags of shit. There's so many. There's like lower tax this, or require a 2/3 vote tax for that, and it's just stuff that shouldn't be in the constitutional revision. Like, we shouldn't be putting shit in the Constitution for this stuff. Like, if you want this stuff, push legislation. Or if people wanted this stuff, then it would be a ballot initiative constitutional revision, which automatically makes it on. So if it was people that were fighting for this, then it would have gotten on the ballot, and that'd be one thing. Be like, okay, well, politicians aren't doing it, so we'll put it on the ballot and we'll vote on it. That's what our constitutional revisions are for. It's to give us a checks and balances over our government, which is great. It's great that we have a system of checks and balances over our government that gives us pretty much an override ability. We can veto anything the government does in Florida on a 60% vote. That's fucking awesome. If 60% of Floridians say that's wrong, we don't want that, we can get rid of it on a constitutional revision vote. That's awesome. We control our government, but the majority of the time we let the representatives do it for us because we are a republic. We have representative government, but we have a emergency pull stop for the bus that says, well, wait a minute, no, I want to get off here. You've gone past my stop. We've gone too far. Let's stop. So that is amazing. That is awesome. I am very happy that we have that, and I wish that it wasn't being abused in the way it is. Number 4 was one of those ballot initiatives where the people, through petition, got on the ballot to restore the right of felons who have served their time to vote, and that's how the system should work. So that's cool. Number 12 is the other possibility. It has a anti-lobbying thing in it, basically meaning that for 6 years after someone holds office, they wouldn't be able to join to file to become a lobbyist. And in Florida, you have to file to become a lobbyist. You can't be a lobbyist without filing. I'm pretty sure I may have been registered as a lobbyist at one point in time when I was advocating on behalf of certain groups. I may have registered as a lobbyist. I don't know. I might not have had to. Maybe our lawyer did, but I don't think I had to. So that was an interesting time in my life, and I really enjoyed advocating for certain rights, and I actually did help get a bill passed into law. I worked on drafting the writing up for a bill and got it passed into law, so that was cool, and I enjoyed that. We're gonna get some coffee, but that's it. Everything else is a no. Everything else is a hard no. This constitutional revisions, 2 out of 12 are possibly passable. The rest are fucking garbage, and are stuff that legislation should be doing, but they're fucking lazy. So that's today, in my opinion. I think coming up, next Tuesday, I am going to live stream election coverage when I get home. So I'm gonna set up my computer at home. I'm gonna bring Jenkins in, and we're gonna do a live stream from the house for election night. I'm not sure how long that's going to be until I go to bed. It's not always going to be commentary and action. Sometimes it's just going to be, whatever I'm listening to. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it turns into. Maybe it'll be terrible and I won't do it. I don't know. But that's what I'm looking forward to. And there'll be more to come, in my opinion. Of course, the news from today of Trump trying to, all the stuff Trump's done today. I have more information on that tomorrow. I'm going to do some more research on that, watch some videos, and I'm sure Tim Pool and Ben Shapiro will have something to say on that. I'm guessing both of them are actually going to have the same opinion on that. That's my prediction. Both will have the same opinion on that because they're both pretty they're both pretty logical when it comes to stuff like that. So that's my prediction, and we'll see if it's true or not. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for listening to today's rant, and I will catch you tomorrow. Have a good night.